Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired cook from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to another bread video. If you've ever wanted to make your own bagels but thought it to be too difficult, it's actually not. It's much easier than you think. And trust me, the results are totally worth it. These homemade bagels are miles better than anything you'll find in a store. They're soft, they're chewy, they're absolutely delicious. You can see the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on the channel's website. And the link to that page and lots more is in the description box under the video. Just find and click on the word more, and that'll give you access to all the relative links for this video, including our website store products. Okay, let's get on with this delicious bagel recipe. As always, I'll start by setting away the yeast, and that's to make sure it's alive and well. Add the soft brown sugar or honey to the warm water. Next to go in is the yeast, and give that a good mix. I'm using instant dried yeast, but if you want to use fresh yeast, you'll need 20 grams. Now set that aside until it activates. Okay, due to my wonky hand, I'll be using my stand mixer again. But if you haven't got a machine or you just fancy a workout, this is a low hydration recipe and can be easily kneaded by hand. Okay, first to go in is the now active yeast mixture. Next to go in this very simple recipe is the white bread flour. And the final ingredient is the salt. If you are kneading this by hand, roughly mix everything in a bowl, tip it out onto the bench and hand knead it for 10 minutes. Back to my machine. Once it's all together, using the dough hook, knead for 10 minutes. While that's running, grease a bowl with a little cooking oil. Once the 10 minutes are up, whether you've hand or machine kneaded, you should now have a silky smooth piece of dough. Get the dough onto a flour-free surface and form the dough into a ball. Drag the dough back like this will tighten up the outer skin of the dough. Now get it into the grease bowl. Make sure it has a thin coat of oil all round it. This will help it release from the bowl after proofing. Cover the bowl. I like to use the shower cap for this. Shower caps are ideal for proofing dough as they keep in the moisture but also allows the dough to breathe. Now let that proof or rise for 1 hour. For use later, cut yourself a piece of cling film or plastic wrap, biodegradable in my case, and give it a thin coat of any cooking oil and set it aside for now. And that's the proofing time done. Your dough should now have at least doubled in size. Now knock the dough back to a ball shape once more. Make sure you knock all of that built up gas out of it. And that's where you get the saying, knocking the dough back. We now need to divide it into 6 equal pieces. And the best way to do that is with digital scales. And if your measurements were correct at the start, each of your 6 pieces should weigh around 115 grams or just over 4 ounces each. Once all 6 are cut, dust a little flour on your work surface like so. Now on a flour-free part of the bench, roll each piece into a small dough ball. Try to copy this rolling technique. It's dead easy once you get the hang of it. Check out my dinner roll video for a more in-depth explanation. I'll leave a link below. Once all 6 are rolled, cover them with the oiled cling film you prepared earlier. This rest period will make it so much easier for the final shaping of the bagels. Now let those chill out for 10 minutes. Time to shape the bagels. You'll need a floured tray to proof the bagels on, and it'll make it a lot easier to lift the tray over to the stove for when we start boiling them. Get the plastic wrap cover off and have your flour sprinkler close by. Now dust one of the dough balls. I'll show you a couple of ways of getting the hole in the middle. The first is probably the most popular, and that is poking a hole through with your finger. Dip your finger in a little flour and push it through the centre of the dough. It will stretch quite a bit. When your finger's gone all the way through, do this action to expand the hole. And that's the first way. The professionals roll it into a long sausage shape and join the ends together, forming a circle. My personal preferred way is to very lightly roll them out, using our rolling pin with the 10mm spacers on. I find the finished bagels are much neater by doing it this way. 2 quick passes and that's it. Now, using the 1-inch cutter from our 19-piece cutter set, simply cut a hole in the middle. And that's the way I like to do mine. You can decide which way to do yours. Whichever way you do yours, get them onto the floured tray. There is a little waste from the centre, but I've allowed for that in the recipe. Okay, I'll quickly go through the rest. When they're done, have a clean up. Cover the bagels with a dry, lightweight cloth. Now let them proof or rise for 30 minutes. And while they're proofing, get a pan or a wok of water on the stove ready for when we start the boiling process. And that's the final proof done. And as you can see, they've risen nicely. I'll get them on top of the stove next to the water pan. Once your water is at a slow boil, you can add the bicarbonate of soda or baking soda to the water. I've no idea how, but apparently this makes the bagels chewier and helps with the colour. Let me know in the comments if you know the science behind this. Have a large parchment-lined baking tray ready. Before going any further, preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, that's 355 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4. Now very carefully place 3 bagels at a time into the hot water. Once they're in, set your timer for 1 minute. Once the time's up, gently turn them over and cook the other side for a further minute. You can also add other stuff to the water too, like honey, maple syrup, malted barley syrup or brown sugar. I'm just sticking with the baking soda. Carefully lift them out and place them on the parchment-lined baking sheet, leaving a bit of space in between them, as they will spring some in the oven. When all 6 are on the tray, give them a good coat of the egg wash. Sprinkle with whatever seeds you like. I'm using black and white sesame seeds on mine. Now get them into the preheated oven. Once in, set your timer for 25 minutes. And while those are baking, I hope you don't mind if I give my 4 recipe books a quick shout out. The books have lots of our favourite recipes from our work kitchens in them. And also book 4 in this series is totally dedicated to bread recipes. And don't forget, book 5 in this series is coming very soon. Right, that's a time up on these wonderful bagels, and they're looking fantastic, and the aroma is mouth-watering. If you like yours a bit darker, simply leave them in a bit longer. But these are perfect for us. They're a wonderful golden brown colour and they feel light as a feather. Perfect. I'll let them cool on the rack for a few minutes, and when I come back I'll make one of my favourite sandwiches. Right, time to cut one open and see how we did. And I can feel straight away, just by cutting it, that the texture is right. On to making my favourite sandwich. I'll start with a little butter. Next, a good helping of plain cream cheese. FYI, if you want a shinier crust, just use the egg white when making up your egg wash. Finally, a few slices of this wonderful honey baked ham. And I'll be civilised and cut it in half first. And that is absolutely perfect. A slightly crisp but chewy crust, and the inside a bit denser than ordinary bread, which is just how it should be. And that's all down to that boiling process. Absolute bagel heaven, guys. Massive thumbs up for this one. And as mentioned earlier in the video, here is the latest list of my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thank You button supporters. And they are Kim Battersby Hill, Tom, Jens K 3250. Thanks very much, guys. I really do appreciate all that you do in supporting the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in your kitchen and bye for now.